I want to give you a masterclass in business. And while this is a brand new channel, I am not a brand new person in the world of business. I've made millions and millions and millions of dollars in a short amount of time in this business world. And the whole point of this new channel that I am starting, but also just the philosophies that I have and what I'm trying to go over, is to really save you guys the years and the trouble from the mistakes I've made in business and show you guys some of the things that skyrocketed me to the next level. And I promise you, it's not what you think it is, right? So to start things out, there is a book that is called 10X is Easier Than 2X. And that book changed my entire life and changed my entire business. The reason being is because they talk about in the book that if you are someone, let's say you're a business owner out there and you make $1 million per year, right? In order to get to your goals, you may think, oh, if I want to go from $1 million a year to $2 million a year, what do you think you have to do as a business owner? You may think, oh, if I just push through with the same systems, the same processes, and the same team members, I will eventually get there, right? And we're not talking about 1 million year one, 1 million year two. So it's 2 million, after 2 years. We're talking 1 million and trying to go from that to 2 million the same year, right? You may think by doing the exact same things will get you there. And the issue is that's going to keep you stagnant. That's literally what happened to me, right? So me in my earlier years of business that literally kept on for years was, let's say I was making a certain amount of money, right? And let's say that amount of money was, let's say around $4 million per year, right? I always wanted to go, let's say double, right? So let's say I wanted to go from 4 million to 8 million, right? I would think, oh, just the same team members, the same processes, the same systems, the same playbook. Okay, eventually we will get there. And that's not what got me there. What got me there was literally throwing that playbook out, big X there, out. Because the book 10X is Easier Than 2X talks about how if you want to get to your goals, it has to be so unrealistic in other people's eyes that it forces you to think outside of the box. Like, let's say if I wanted to go from 1 million a year to 25 million a year. Do I or you seriously think to get to $25 million a year doing the exact same things you're doing right now will get you there? If no, then why are you doing that right now? And to kind of hammer it home, I was thinking about my main YouTube channel that has 600K subscribers. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you're a business owner and you have, a YouTube channel, if I wanted to get from 600K subscribers to 700K subscribers, what would you say as a business owner that I should be doing? Think about it. I'm sure right now you guys would probably be saying post more, right? Right, that's it. Post more consistently, maybe post more shorts, things like that, right? But if I wanted to get from 600K subscribers to 6 million in that same 12-month period, what would you guys say? Would you guys still advise me to post more? Or would you guys say, oh, that kind of seems very, very high? You got to throw this playbook out the window. That's what you would say. And you know what the new playbook you would give me? Oh, you should spend the business money that ends up, into an investment to yourself, and go find and call Mr. Beast for consistent coaching and consultations. Because Mr. Beast is on a variety of channels saying in interviews that, I look at smaller creators all the time. I give them advice. And then within 6 months, they're at, 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, even 20 million subscribers because I know what to do with YouTube, right? So you see how the whole strategy has to go out the window, right? So for me, when it came to my business, like we're making millions of dollars every single year, but we feel stagnant. We feel like we're not growing. It's the same, maybe a couple $100,000 off every single year. And the big change number one that I did in my business was, and this is the hard thing, and this is what I would implore business owners to do right away. I'm telling you, I am someone who hesitated on this for years because I felt bad and I felt like I shouldn't, but I fired everyone besides one person, right? And then there may be one more person who I may bring back, right? But out of my entire team, I fired everyone Because the majority of people on my team were cool people, right? They were cool people. Let's not get it twisted. But 99.9% of them couldn't drive an outcome, meaning they were all reliant upon me to give the strategy, the advice, the direction, and X, Y, and Z. And you may say, oh, well, Swaggy, that's what a business owner should do. No, if you're a business owner, you know that's not true. I may be here for top level things, but the reason why it's a big difference is because after firing everyone, I literally went to, like, WAP has this group chat, right, on Slack for creators who are making anywhere from 100K a month to 15 million a month, right? Literally 15 million, right? So I literally went in there with that one person who I kept on the team and literally said, because everybody in there is kind of talking and giving advice and gems, and said, hey guys, I need some A+ talent. Here's what I need from this angle, this, and this is a business channel, so I can say it. I said I needed a email and copywriter, SMS. I needed a funnel guy. I needed a business operator who has years of experience running a business and making millions of dollars outside of me. And I need this and I need that. I literally outlined all of it. And within I want to say 7 days, I went from a whole team to one person back to I think we're at 25 people now. Right? And now, to be fair, there's 10 of them are closers and stuff for the sales team. But still, in my Slack, it's packed out. But everybody's making money. And you know how I know that? It's because back to the point about, oh, Swaggy is high level. No, people are giving me direction and advice on what we should be doing. No, we're doing this instead. We're doing this instead. I've done this with this person. This person made, $15 million a year running the same playbook. We're going to do this. Oh, yeah, I ran this, email structure. We did 12 million last year. I'm going to do this over here for you. And guess what? They're doing it, implementing an actual system. And you can ask that one person who's still on my team. I'll even have his screenshots here so you can verify oh, wow, this is crazy because we haven't had this for the last 5 years. Every single day I go into Slack and there is this automation. There's sales. And every single day, by the end of the day, it's 35K per day, 33K. 28K, 40K, right? I literally wrote to my entire new team. Where's my phone at? Right here. I literally wrote to my entire new team and literally said, right here. I said, I'm going to screenshot as well. When I see you, we got to fight. Why is this whole new team making us so much money, right? And I will, play the first maybe 10 seconds of it because it's a longer voice memo, but I'll play it right now.
Fuck yeah, bro. We are so far to scale this thing up with you. Honestly, the way it's looking right now, I think we're going to be consistently popping 30, 40, even 50K days.
Right? We're going to be consistently doing 30, 40, 50K days. And like I said, if you look at my banner on my YouTube channel, right? It shows that, oh, I've made $228,000 in a day before. And, oh, I've made, $900K in a month before. And, oh, I've done all those things with no paid ads, right? The issue is those were launches. Those were me making a 20, 25-minute YouTube video and doing a hype launch and giving them value. But you can't do a launch every single month. You can't even do a launch every single 2 months. So if you look at my history, you may not know my history, but I believe in 2020, I did one launch, which was launching my first business. 2021, I did a birthday launch, and then I released something called a Gold Academy. So that's 2 launches, right? 2022, I closed the business down and launched a live trading element, right? So we're talking 3 launches because I did something called the energy is shifting, right? So I went up and up and up every single year, little by little, but you can see where it's you can't just do a launch every single month, 12 months. We're talking 1 launch, 2 launches, 3 launches, right? Every year, right? So those big swings, cool. But now we're talking about a system to where, oh, I'm going into Slack and there's a, notification and it's 30K, 40K, 30K, 40K, 50K, 30K, 28K, 20. Like that person who's still on my team who was in the mud with me for the last 5.5 years is like, bro, how did our business turn around so fast? And it wasn't like it was like a dying business. Don't get me wrong. It was making millions of dollars per year, but it was also stressful because we always had to like not only fulfill and make sure clients were happy and got the results they wanted, but we also had to come up with the marketing and come up with this and do the videos for it, do the content, do this, do that, do that, do the copywriting, we had to do everything. And it would start to stress us out and we'd be up all night, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, when like that's not really, you can run a business like that, but that's only if you're like fired up and like everybody's doing their job versus, oh no, we have a 15 to 16 person team that gets cut down to 12, that gets cut down to 8, because really only 4 people are doing all of the work, including myself, which then gets cut down to 1. And then I may bring one of the others back on, right? You start to realize, oh, the 10X is easier than 2X. It's not a matter of going from, oh yeah, I want to go to from $1 million a month to, $2 million a month, right? Right? It's as simple as, oh, you can go from making $300K a month to literally 1.5 million a month in just 30 to maybe 60 days. It doesn't take long. What it takes is, again, I said earlier about the firing people. So it takes A+ talent and A+ systems. But again, A+ talent is not people who are good. Like, I read this in books a lot where there's like, I think Hormozi talks about this as well, where he says you can, hire A+ talent, or you can hire like, I don't know, C- or D+ talent and then train them up to be A+ talent, right? What he said was, if there is someone who's an A+ talent, right, but they're like, an asshole to everybody and their job is relatively easy. Easy meaning you can find another one, like a customer service representative, right? Then okay, cool, you may got to find somebody else. It may be better to, hire that C- talent who really loves customer service, but may not know all the tricks to drive an income, even as customer service. Your job as a customer service is not just to answer questions. Every function of a business has to make money. Like Hormozi says, that's why the business and the function exists, right? But if it's something like you're an engineer and you're the best engineer in New York, but you may be kind of prickly on Monday and Tuesdays, everybody get over it, right? Because he's bringing that big of an income, and the learning swing and gap of turning a C minus player into an A+ engineer, you're talking 4 years versus maybe 4 weeks on the customer service representative side, right? So it's A+ talent, A+ systems, right? That has been the biggest key of this entire thing, because if you're a business owner, I'm telling you, launches such as like boot camps and webinars, those are all cool. And don't get me wrong, I love bootcamp webinars, and maybe in another video, I'll talk about my entire strategy regarding the bootcamp webinars, regarding doing it 1 day versus 3 days versus 5 days. But this should be extra for the business, right? If you do 300, 400, 500K, even $1 million for a bootcamp, that should be extra to the business. The business should be generating 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K every single day, and then the bootcamp enhances it. Not, oh, the business is doing nothing, and then the boot camp enhances it. And it took me firing my entire team and literally going to WAP and finding A+ talent and then giving them the 30, 60-day runway. And I saw just a massive shift. And it's been going on and on and on. So if you're someone, especially for someone who makes 100K a month, like, you should be in that WAP group chat and you should reach out. This is not a WAP video. This is not a WAP sponsored video. Like, it's none of that at all. But I'm just being honest about my business journey, where it's like, make more money than 99.9% of people in my industry in the same things we're doing, right? And the reason I know this is because we all sit around and talk about it, right? Like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, this person makes more money than me on the prop firm, but I make more money than them on education. We make the same amount of money trading, like our own personal trading lives, right? So it's like, boom, right? And you kind of see it, and it's like, oh, why do people gravitate to Swaggy so much? Because I'm just open and honest, and I have charisma, and I'm just out there for you guys, right? Why do people gravitate to their platform so much versus mine? Oh, mine's a little bit more expensive. Even though you can still get paid out, if you breach the account, it's still more expensive, so they'd rather go with the cheapest option. Okay, cool, I understand. Right? For those people who are watching for general business knowledge, that trading talk, which is my main overall business and what I do, in general for a living, may sound like foreign to you, and I get that, but you understand what I'm trying to say, where it's like I said, I have done so much on my own. I'm trying to tell you how to go to the next level, how to double and triple your income, quickly, boom, 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 just like that. And it starts with getting rid of the good people on your team so you can make room for the great. And somebody may watch this video and say, oh, why couldn't the great people be onboarded to the extra people who you got left over? Remember you said you had a 16, 15 person team, got cut down to 12, then 8, and then only 4. Why couldn't they be added on? It's because most of those people have been on the team for anywhere between 2 years to, let's say, 6 years. Right? So there's some people who've been on for 2 years, some people have been on for 6 years, some for 4. And what I've noticed is that a lot of them, and again, I guess rightfully so, but I felt like a lot of people didn't have the business at the business's best interest at heart. What do I mean by that is they say they love the business, but I think they love their role in the business. Prime example, if I went to any of them and said, hey, your role is being replaced. We found someone who has done this, has made $20 million with this company, X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 blah. You're going to move over to this role. It'll be a little bit less money, or maybe the same, but you're not doing this as much. You will take orders from this person because they're ahead of you now. A lot of them, if not all of them, maybe besides the one person I kept, would have had an attitude. I don't think the person I'm bringing back would have had an attitude, which is why they're being brought back. But most of them would have had an attitude. Because it's like, I've been here for 5 years and this person just walks into this role. Yeah, because he drives an outcome for 5 different businesses versus being brought up into that role. And I'm saying this video not to talk negatively about, let's say, my former team. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that, Hormozi said the same thing, right? This is again, this is a business channel. I need to talk honestly about here, right? Because, when... I got a lot to say, actually. I got a lot to say. 2 things. One, let me actually write it down. AC 2020. Because I don't know what this means. And then Hormozi, right? Okay, cool. So to start with the second one. Hormozi said the same thing. Hormozi said, there's a video called 10 Brutal Truths, or I think an hour, 90 minutes of brutal truth for you, basically, by Hormozi. He has 2 or 3 different videos like that. If you watch those videos, they're incredible. One of the points he made, I think it's either point 4 through 6, one of those points, he had mentioned he was sitting in a room with I don't know if it was a bank or a merger and acquisitions team, basically. And I feel like it was a bank or a hedge fund or something like that. And Hormozi was doing, I think, $4 million a month. And they were doing $4 billion a year, right? So whatever that is per month. And Hormozi said he walked in the room with his team and he saw that team and he said, I see why they're at $4 billion a year. Why I'm only at $4 million a month. $4 million a month is $48 million a year. I see why. And he said in that video, this is no shot slight to that team. I love them all. They're all great human beings, but I see the level of difference. It has nothing to do with them as human beings. It has everything to do with their knowledge in that field, in that specific field. And he saw the difference, right? So I can cross that out. And what I meant by AC 2020 to now is because sometimes if you, again, this is, and I'm trying to help business owners out, but it's going to sound like everybody should just get rid of their team. No, but if you're stagnant, that should be the first place you look. And I hear business owners have been telling me that for years. Ty Lopez told me that. I just never took their advice, right? But when I did, 60 days later, my business is seeing generational profits, right? It's literally this, which is, I remember, and actually I'll get back to that in a second. If you are an A+ person, right, or even an A- person, who was an A+ and A- person without them, right, and you bring them on, and then you all of a sudden become stagnant for years, what kind of happened, which again, a lot of business owners talk about, is you kind of meet them at their level, unfortunately. So you become a C+ or a C- business owner, right? Because you're surrounded by people who are all C's. Again, they could be A's in different roles, and it's actually my fault because I would put people who may be an A plus in a certain role, but because we had a small team, I made them go on a different role, and then they were a D minus or a D plus in that role because that's not their general role. But then they get used to it, and then they feel like they're entitled to keep that role when you're not a good person for that role. You're great over here, and it's my fault as a business owner because I should have kept them over there, right? Does that make sense? So, and the reason why I said you kind of go down to their level is because when I was stagnant for, let's say, years, the year prior, before I met that team in general and brought a couple people on, this was like a 5, 6, 7, 8 people that I brought on at the time, right? Like we're talking customer service reps, we're talking like a lot of people, right? And what I'm saying is those 5 years that I was stagnant, right? The time that I was stagnant, remember I said like, how you may go down to that level. The year prior to bringing on, those specific people, and this was like, it wasn't like just 2 or 3 people. This was like, we're talking like 8, 9, 10 people, right? Like we're talking like videographers, we're talking customer service reps, we're talking just everybody, right? The year prior, it was just me and someone else. And we made anywhere from $6 to $7 million. And then the minute me and that person kind of went away and I brought on this whole new team, why am I doing half of that? Why? For years, why am I doing half of that? Because it's like I just said, when you're not surrounded by A plus talent, which I was back in 2020, and you're surrounded by people who are not equipped for the role that I'm putting them in, which again is my fault, then I kind of meet them at their level, and we're having brainstorming sessions that get nowhere, that we're, thinking of ideas when it clearly is not really going to work. So, boom, switched over, and then eventually reached out to the WAP group chat, boom, made it all happen, and now the systems that I was saying from before is happening every single day. And that is why 10x is easier than 2x. Because eventually you have to stop feeling bad and sorry because the business pays everybody. And it just seems like we just act like it's no big deal and let's just keep the business, last, and let's make sure everybody else is happy and okay. It's like, no, the business comes first. And if anybody can fit within that system, great. So the whole point of this video, the first one in terms of this masterclass, there's going to be a lot more, but the very first one is, in order to show how 10x is easier than 2x, the first thing you need to do is surround yourself with 10x killers. That's what you got to do. Surround yourself with 10x killers. People who have done it before. You may got to pay them more. If I'm being honest, I actually pay more now to them than my former team. But guess what? Money is coming in every single day. Every day. We're not talking like once a month in a big like lump sum. We're talking every single day, consistently, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60K days. So it's worth it because it's like, oh, this comes every single day. I'm actually working less. I'm just making high level decisions, making videos like this, and I'm able to fulfill on the back end. That's what people don't understand is that now that this is happening and it feels people are doing their jobs and it's automated, I'm able to fulfill on the back end. So all I've been doing the last couple of days is doing one-on-ones with people in person or one-on-one virtually, just knocking out one-on-ones. And I feel more relaxed. Whereas in the past, I have to do a one-on-one with somebody in my overall program for my business and then go back and write the copy for the next boot camp and then think of the next funnel and then go shoot the video like I'm doing now and then low-key edit the video or give an outline guide on how to edit the video. And you see why we're stagnant. And then there's nobody else who's really kind of chipping in. They're just following marching orders from me and I'm kind of like sauced and like tired and like brain dead. It doesn't work that way, So the first thing you need to do is get out of your feelings, surround yourself with 10x killers. And if you're someone who is or wants to work for a business, but you feel like you may be a C plus, C minus talent, 2 things. 1, tell the owner, hey, I think Hormozi talked about this in one of his books as well. Tell the owner flat out, hey, I would love for you to train me for the role you're trying to promote me to because I don't feel like I am equipped for this role. a lot of people see the money aspect and be like, oh, okay, like, well, the money aspect is great. I just want to accept the role. No, because then you're going to do a bad job, and then the owner may feel terrible because he likes you as a person to fire you when you should have been fired 3 years ago, right? So make sure you're equipped to train for that role so you can gradually learn it, right? Right? Or number two, just flat out say, no, I like where I'm at right now, but I would love to help you find somebody for that specific role, right? The goal is to get this thing that we all work for as high as humanly possible. So that requires all of us to be on the same page. And once you realize that, then business becomes a lot easier. It did not take 3 years for me to go from, oh yeah, making this much money to this much money. It took 60 days. And I remember telling my former team, I said, hey guys, there are some people who when they get fired, they're going to be gone for good. And there's some people who are going to come back. And for those who come back, I want you to know that roles may switch, things may differ. There may be different people in different places. But I want you to know, if I just had 30 to 90 days by myself to just think, I can literally 3x this business by myself. Not because I'm just a granular person, but because I have time to think and figure things out and not feel bad that I got to talk to this person or do this or fulfill payroll. Then I'm resentful because I'm paying you this much money, but you brought in a third of what I'm paying you, right? Versus like, okay, I'm alone or I have one person with me. I can just rock out and then boom. And as I mentioned, it literally happened exactly how I thought it would. So if you are a business owner, please take this seriously. Surrounding yourself with A+ killers is probably the biggest business growth you possibly can have by far. There's a book by Dan Martell called Buy Back Your Time. BBYT, Buy Back Your Time. It's an incredible book. It completely changed my entire mindset on things. And at this point, I bought back my time because I'm able to freely post on new YouTube channels and start new ventures and not feel bad because people are still being fulfilled in my overall business. My YouTube channel is getting the love it deserves, and I'm not forgetting about it, and everybody's happy. So if you guys want more information, feel free to subscribe below. Like I said, this is not my main channel. I'm just starting a new channel just to share my business advice because I see what Hormozi means, where he's like, I struggled so much in business, and then when I finally hit it off, I want to share this advice. And I'm the same way, where it's like, if I had someone who could just share this advice when I was in my stagnant years, I mean, technically I did. I literally had Ty Lopez and texting me and, meeting him in person. I should have just listened to him directly, right? I'm going to see him actually next week. I don't know when this video is going to drop, but I'll be in California next week to hang out with him. But I guess if I can't even say if I had somebody because I had somebody, right? But if I just took the advice, when I got it, everything would happen a lot faster. So I want you guys to watch this video and just take the advice. If you want more information, like I said, just subscribe below. I'm going to try to be as active as I can on this channel just to give you guys more advice from my journey to help you guys out as business owners so you guys can make as much money as humanly possible, but also fulfill the clients and the customers as humanly possible. They need to be taken care of. That is the lifeblood of a business, and that is what I'll spend another video talking on because I spent far too many years in my stagnant years as well focusing on bringing new customers in versus taking care of the current ones that I had. So I got to make another video that kind of outlines the shift in that because now my current customers feel taken care of and everybody's happy. I'm like, what an amazing concept, all right? Like, it's like very, very clear and obvious. But it's not a matter of you do that and you may see, a 1x return. No, you may see a 50x return just off of customer morale in general. So don't be surprised at how much can change in a matter of 2 or 3 months. So in this video, I don't have anything more to say or even sell you other than just subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.